Hi, thank you for clicking. Welcome to my custom-made conspiracy theory iceberg. Here's all of them put together. You can find them separately if you wanna. Um, yeah, that's it. Well, here it is, all of them put together.
Tier 1, just to get them out of the way, super quickly, rapid fire. I'm not going to explain a lot because you most likely know them already. The moon landing. Just the belief that NASA faked the moon landing. 9/11 inside job. The US government was behind the whole 9/11 attack. Roswell, the belief that a UFO fell in Roswell and that the government came out and said, I believe it was a blimp. I think so. And then we just all believe it was a UFO. The Men in Black, popularized by the movie starring the guy that plays the genie from Aladdin. Oh my, I messed up that joke hard. Starring the guy from YouTube Rewind, the Men in Black movies, popularized from there. But the Men in Black obviously are men who dress in black, who go around hiding evidence of aliens. CIA killed JFK. That's probably the most popular belief of who killed JFK. The official story, obviously, being it was Oswald. A lot of people think it was CIA. Flat Earth, or Flat Earth, which is the neglected child of theories in general. But just saying that the Earth isn't spherical; it's flat. The world is a simulation. Someone somewhere has just probably believed this for like more than 10 seconds. Maybe you believe it. I don't know. Yeah, it's saying that we're all living in a computer generated simulation. They're listening to you. This one's kind of confirmed because of Edward Snowden, but the CIA and the NSA are listening to us through our devices. You ever mentioned something and then you get an ad for it? Area 51, which is a naval base in Nevada, which is believed to hold aliens, spaceships, alien spaceships, if you will. They say it's a naval air base, naval testing facility, but everyone seems to believe that there's aliens in there. Reptilians. The popular belief that high level people in our society are reptilian shapeshifters and they're coming to control us. Chemtrails, I think this one shot up in popularity as of recently, but you ever see an airplane just fly by and you see that little trail it leaves? That's what a chemtrail is. And why is it called the chemtrail? Because that little trail is leaving chemicals in the air to either kill us or drug us or whatever people say. But no good, basically. I don't think I can say this one, but the Mandela effect. Yeah, you probably have most likely seen this one. Um, the belief that we thought something was a certain way and that now it's different. Many examples, probably an example for everything. The Illuminati, which is the most popular one. Right? You know the Illuminati. Satanic, demonic, world leaders, in control of everything. Tier 2, The Man from Tard. You've probably heard this one because it's in every top 10 conspiracy theory tier list or list that's made from like Watch Mojo ripoffs. But yeah, a man arrived in Japan saying he was from a country named Tard, obviously doesn't exist, and then later they took him into custody. He disappeared without any trace, and then, yeah, believed to be a man from a different dimension who just kind of shifted into ours and then dipped. The Denver airport. You know that one? Denver airport. Creepy paintings, creepy mural, creepy horse statue. Thought to be the headquarters for the Illuminati. Celebrities fake their deaths. Um, yeah, very popular belief when a celebrity gets too famous, they will eventually want to leave, all that, and then they'll fake their death. I guess popular ones are Elvis, Michael Jackson, Tupac, for some reason. Subliminal messages in music. This one, I feel like 9-year-olds will be the first to find this one. But yeah, you either like reverse a song and you can hear something being said, or if you listen to a song closely enough, you'll hear a secret message being played behind the beat. I guess popular example of this is a song called "Friends in Paris," where they at the very end it says, "We killed Tupac." It's believed to say that. Predictive programming. Just film or TV shows will show you something or present to you something that will eventually happen later. I guess the best example of this is The Simpsons. Nibiru, or Planet X, which is a supposed 10th planet in our solar system that was supposed to come in and start crashing into Earth, eventually sending everything into hell. It's also said that Planet X is the home planet of humans creators, but I'll get into that later. Nazis, or Hitler himself, in South America. But this is saying that when World War II ended, Hitler and a couple Nazis fled to South America, most likely where you get the Hitler in Argentina thing. I think it may be confirmed that this did actually happen, but as for Hitler himself, I don't think that's confirmed. Titanic was switched. Yeah, Titanic was said to have been switched with its sister boat, the Olympus, I believe it's called, and then because they looked identical, they went ahead and sailed on the Olympus, made it sink, and then you can get the insurance money for the Titanic without actually sinking the Titanic. Cicada 3301. This was a weird thing where a bunch of puzzles came out. I think forums. I don't want to say which one because I feel like I'm gonna get it wrong. But a bunch of these puzzles, ciphers, things came out on of some group called Cicada 3301. No one knew what it is, or no one really knew what they were for. Some people solved them. Some people said that they got to the last puzzles, ciphers, and then nothing happened. Um, Other people believe, that once those people who solved it, the Cicada 331 eventually picked and chose who joined whatever they were doing. Said to be a government recruiting program, MI6, CIA, whichever. But no one really knows what it is. HARP, saying that HARP controls our weather. They manipulate everything, and that they have the tools to make weather weapons. They can weaponize the weather, is what I'm trying to tell you here. That's the theory here. D.B. Cooper. D.B. Cooper was a man who went by the name D.B. Cooper, and then he went into a plane. He had a briefcase, a lot of money in it. He said he had a bomb. Then he went ahead and gathered everybody. He locked them in a different room of the plane. Then he just asked for a parachute and he jumped out. That's really it. No one knows if he landed. No one knows where he went. I think it's kind of funny if he didn't land, but then that's just kind of weird. Big Pharma, saying that the pharmaceutical industry is profiting off of you instead of curing you, right? They offer medicine instead of actually curing diseases or illnesses. Said to believe that the dental industry is also in on this, right? The big dental. I don't know what the actual name for that is. But rather than help your teeth, they actually damage them so you can come back later. Tier 3, John Teeter. Teeter? Teetor? I don't know how to say his last name. So John. He was a man who said to have come to the past in, I believe, 2001. He said it was from the year 2036, and he came back saying that he was coming back to prevent a second U.S. Civil War that was eventually going to lead into a third World War, and then obviously this never happened. But he came out on a bunch of forums saying that he's gonna come prevent some things. He needed something specific. That was his mission. He was gonna retrieve something very specific, but then he just kind of started saying other things. Obviously, none of these came true. So, but it's very not popular, but you can still find it easily. Hawaii 2018 missile. A bunch of people in Hawaii got. I don't know if it was everybody or just a bunch of people, but people in Hawaii got a alert saying that there was a missile being launched and that it was going to land in Hawaii or sectors of Hawaii, and that they were supposed to brace for impact. Now the theory here is that they did launch missiles. North Korea, specifically North Korea, did launch missiles that were aimed at Hawaii, but the U.S. government managed to get them out, and therefore that alert was real. Bohemian Grove is a all gentlemen's club of high-end profile people, a couple of presidents. I think it's just political people, rich people, that kind of thing. An all boys club, if you will, a sausage fest where demonic rituals happen, where sacrifices happen, said to be a getaway for the Illuminati. Oumuamua is a cigar-like shape. These call it a cigar-like shaped rock or object that floated into our solar system that was from a far distant planet. Well, far and distant are the same thing. Whatever. It's said to be from a not planet, a different galaxy that entered ours, and people believe that it's a alien spacecraft that was sent to monitor us. The Philadelphia experiment. This was an experiment used to try and cloak or teleport naval ships during World War II. And the theory here is that they did manage this, and that the boat that they managed to cloak and teleport eventually fell through a rift in our dimension and saw different versions of our Earth, and eventually ended up on another part of our Earth. But when they came back, the people on the boat were infused into the boat, like their bodies were just stuck onto the boat. It's also said that Albert Einstein was working on this. Take that as you will. I think that's kind of cool. Q Q started off as something cool. It was like, yeah, every conspiracy that is out there is connected, and then with the rise of Donald Trump's presidency, it kind of turned into something a bit different. I liked the first thing that it was, or just how it started, and then it just ended up being something different. But the core thing is that Q is trying to expose the Illuminati, and they managed to do so by connecting everything that we are theorizing. Crisis actors. Crisis actors are people that are planted in tragic events, wars. Even some people believe they're in wars, but they're actors meant to portray that they were affected by whatever tragic incident happened. Right? They were like, I was affected by this. I do believe it was popularized by Alex Jones and the Sandy Hook massacre. He was not convincing, accusing people of being crisis actors in the Sandy Hook massacre. Right? He was saying that Sandy Hook massacre didn't happen. Everyone saying that they were affected is just an actor. I don't think that's the origin, but I think that's where it was popularized. Bilderberg Group, not Build-A-Bear Group. Bilderberg Group. That is an awful joke. I'm sorry. But this is just a meeting in a Bilderberg hotel, or the Bilderberg Hotel, where a bunch of, once again, high-end people come together and they have a meeting. No one knows what this meeting is, but we know that this is a thing. But the weird thing is, any US politician that's gone into this, minus Hillary Clinton, ended up becoming president. Georgia Guidestones are essentially the US version of Stonehenge. They're guidestones to what is believed to be someone. Whatever. These guidestones are an essential guide to how we should rule humanity, how we should treat it, how we should essentially have it to be. No one knows who wrote this, and given some of these guides, they are a bit ominous, right? Some say keep humanity under 500,000. Don't let politics and religion come in between humans, which I believe that one, and a couple of other ones that are, well, they just weren't followed. Skinwalkers. This is my favorite cryptid actually, but a skinwalker is essentially a vengeful spirit or demon that can mimic humans or mimic animals. It's said that they come from Navajo folklore, and what's kind of more interesting about them is that the Navajo won't let people know about them, or at least know a lot about them, because they believe just talking about them is a bad thing. It brings a bad omen. So not much is known about them. Okay, so tier 4. What is tier 4? It's just alternative takes on the popular theories. Every tier after this is going to be themed, I suppose. I think I themed them all. Yeah. But after this, after the alternative takes, we'll get into the weirder things, which is what you're actually here for. I know. I'm here for that too. Stanley Kubrick filmed the moon landing. I think this one's stupid. I honestly think this one's stupid. But it sounds plausible. Okay, here it is. Stanley Kubrick filmed the moon landing. He directed it and he filmed it. But there's a section or sector of people who believe that he was blackmailed into filming it because he had a brother who was a communist sympathizer, and they were gonna kill him if he didn't do it. He had no brother. 5-second Google search destroys your whole thing. Plus, I don't like it. I think that's kind of dumb. 9/11, no planes. People think that the planes on 9/11 were holograms, or they were edited into all the footage of 9/11 that we see now. And I won't lie to you, as a 14-year-old, I thought this. I was like, oh, you think? Because there's footage of 9/11, like all the news coverage that never mentions a plane, and there's multiple versions of this. People seem to think that they were holograms or they were digitally inserted into this. I don't know. It's hard to talk about 9/11 in general. Men in Black are aliens themselves. Men in Black. I mentioned it in the last one. The Men in Black go around hiding evidence of aliens. Some people believe that the Men in Black are aliens themselves because people who have had encounters with them say they look almost human but not human enough. Say that they also don't act human. Like they don't understand basic things that we do, which is really weird. Like they won't understand like a ballpoint pen, whatever, those flicky pens. For some reason that's the example that was given. Nazis in Antarctica. Like I said before, how Nazis fled Germany after World War II and they ended up in South America. This one says that they ended up in Antarctica because they had a supposed base there. I think they were Nazis were doing weird stuff, and people believe that they went to Antarctica. So obviously, people think that they went and hid in Antarctica. Driver killed JFK. Yep, the guy driving the motorcade when JFK died. He turned back and shot. Or he just... I also kind of believe this one as a teenager. But, it's... I don't know. Whatever. I'm not here to tell you if I believe him or not. Roswell wasn't a UFO. It was a Soviet spy plane. Yeah, people think that it was a Soviet spy plane. I don't know how else to explain it. It's self-explanatory.
This theory is brought up by an author who claims that Stalin sent a spy plane to the US and that in the spy plane there were creatures created by Nazi scientists. These creatures are said to be 13-year-olds, or at least one 13-year-old child with an enlarged head, or enlarged eyes, or both.
Okay. Can't say it, but people think he didn't commit not alive, or he wasn't actually strangled, and that he's still going around. Okay, I'm not putting a lot on this tier because I'm just trying to get the gist of it to you. And I don't think I'm putting a lot on all the tiers because I'm, once again, just getting the gists to you. Because if I were to put everything I could find, this wouldn't get out. This would take forever. And I wish I had that time, but I don't. Okay, tier 5. These are the obscure ones. Now these, you mention these, and you're gonna get the conversation starting. Michigan Blue Hell. There's a believed, I believe it's a building or just a specific sector in Michigan that can clip you out of reality. It'll just glitch you out of it. Adrenochrome. I feel like this one should be a lot lower, but I hear it a lot, so it's here. But adrenochrome is just, it's said to be a thing that you can find in children's blood, and that the Illuminati goes around stealing kids, draining them of their blood for this adrenochrome. It's said that a benefit of this is that it makes you live longer, makes you look younger, I think, too. It's just, it's nasty, and I don't like it. The empty internet. I also think this one should be lower, but I do hear it a lot, so maybe it should just be here in the obscure. But it's just saying that on the internet, there's actually a lot more empty space than they let on. Most of your interactions online are with bots, not actual humans, And there's a good example of this probably being true, because if you go to Google, it'll say like, here's how many results you have, and you can actually run out of results before you hit that number. So it's like, it's theorizing that there's a lot of empty space on the internet. The Area 51 caller is a man. I don't think they ever gave his name, but he called onto a radio show saying that they were after him. He said that he worked for Area 51, that he saw things that they were working on, and that he was going to reveal everything because he knew everything, and that they were after him. And when he called, he sounded super distressed, sounded panicked. So it led a lot of people to believe that this was kind of true. My red is not your red. I really like this one. Blew my mind when I first heard it. But it's saying that when I see the color red, you're not seeing the same color. It's just whatever color you're seeing, you call it red. And the same way, the other way around. Whatever color I see, I call red. Roko's basilisk. I hope I said that right. I can never say basilisk. Did I say it right? Oh my god. This one's so hard to explain if you don't already know what it is. At least for me though, okay, let me try my best. Roko's basilisk is a AI that will either kill you if you didn't help bring it to life, or it will help you if you did bring it to life in a sort of cleansing. I don't think cleansing is the word. This one is so hard to explain, and I cannot explain it properly. I can barely explain anything. I would honestly, if you do want to know what that is, I would just have to send you to Wendigoon's video, because he explains it just so much better than I could. Agenda 21, or 2030, this is a proposed agenda by the UN to make big mega regions in the US and to essentially destroy the lower class people. Now, the worst part about this is that these mega regions are only for the rich 1%, and that the more common folk, the middle class people, will be made as slaves for the top 1%, and the middle class people won't live in these mega regions. They will live in shitty cities, shitty smaller cities. Think of Hunger Games. Project Bluebeam. This one is so funny. I have a whole thing explaining this, but to run it down super quickly, it's a how do I even explain it? It's a proposed plan by NASA to fake an alien invasion, and then therefore fake the second coming of Christ. And then they're going to fake the coming of all these other religious gods, and they're going to come together and they're going to form one mega god. But it's not going to actually be all of these gods. It's going to be Satan. It's so stupid. It's so weird. The guy who made this was tripping balls, bro, I swear. But people believe it, and it's like, oh, no, you don't. Stop. Aliens in the Bible. There's a belief that there's aliens in the Bible. If you know anything about the Anunnaki, it's probably them. Phantom time hypothesis. This is probably one of the first obscure ones you could find. This one is just, it's saying that we're, I believe, 160 years behind than we actually are, because 3 dudes wanted to be in the year 1000 AD. So therefore, we're actually backtracked because these dudes wanted to put themselves in the year prior. California wildfires are caused by direct energy weapons. This one, I think this one's just popular because I'm in the West Coast, but saying that every year when California eventually lights up in flames, it's caused by a direct energy weapon from space, and it's causing all these fires. They're not actually human-made or nature-made. They're artificially making fires. Okay, this one's just nasty. Okay. and I hope I'm saying this right, but the Sabine Tomatova tape, Tomatovich tape, my bad. But what this one is Tomatovich was I believe, Serbian adult actress who said that she was assaulted by a big spider and that they recorded it. Now, people say that they saw this tape, that it's out there, but then other people say that, this isn't real. And let's give them the benefit of the doubt that it is. How the hell did you find that? Black-eyed children? Black-eyed children are a phenomenon that people see children with black eyes, all black eyes, no pupils, no white things right where your eyes are, just all black. It said that these kids are either an omen of death or just bring death. Or if you see them, someone's gonna die. Antarctica is actually an ice wall. So this one's saying that the world we know is like the world we know, but around it is an ice wall, and that ice wall is Antarctica, and that there could possibly be things past it, but they won't let us see it. Tier 6, I just called it WTF, because I said WTF at all of them. Pope Francis is bad. I called it that, but it's just people believe that Pope Francis is the Antichrist. You know why? And this is really weird. It's a lot different than what I expected. People believe that he is the Antichrist because he has more liberal views. So because he's a liberal, people think he's the devil. I love this one because it was one of the more weirder ones that I found first. But Vrillon. The Vrillon situation or incident was a incident in England. It was a very tiny sector of England that I believe in 1976 a bunch of people's TVs got interfered with, and they heard this voice saying that it's the voice of Vrillon from the Ashtar Galactic Command, something like that, and that this voice was saying that he's an alien, that aliens are watching over us, but they won't interfere and they can't help us out yet because we are still fighting amongst ourselves, and we keep doing that, we're going to die. This people think it's a hoax, but people can't disprove it either because there's no actual proof, and because of that you can't disprove it. And you can't prove it either. There's a bunch of reenactments or recreations on YouTube. I think Google as well. Google and YouTube, so both. Record this. I don't think you could record record your TVs in the 70s. So you can't debunk this one, but you can't prove this one either. Second sun. People think that we have two suns. There's a small sun in front, and that there's a bigger sun behind the small one. I think that's cool. This one's funny. Okay. Saddam Hussein Stargate, saying that the US invaded and it wasn't because of oil, it was because Saddam Hussein had Stargates, or he had access to them. Please tell me someone, one of you guys, remembers a shot at love with Tila Tequila. Please tell me someone remembers that. I beg you. Don't let me be the only one that remembers that. But Tila Tequila herself, sometime after that show ended, she went on a weird tirade about the Illuminati and how they controlled her, they messed with her, and how they controlled the industry, the Hollywood industry, and she went absolutely mental. Was she telling the truth, or was she just on some ball sack? Large Hadron Collider. This is an actual thing, but people think that this is used so they can open up a portal and bring forth Osiris, the Egyptian god of death. Why would you want to do that? Okay, I hope this one is real. J376 This is a story of a man under the name of Guard saying that during his time in Iraq, he was at a base and that a virus broke out in this base and that the infected became zombies. So J376 is a virus that could potentially cause zombies if true. It said that this virus was a mix of like rabies and like Ebola. That sounds plausible, but I'm no scientist, so I don't know. 23andMe harvesting DNA. So you know 23andMe, right? The You send them your spit and they tell you who your family is. What do they do with that spit after they're done looking at it? It said that they're harvesting it. Why? Clones? DNA banks? Many possibilities, but people think they're harvesting your DNA. Gary DeVore. Gary was a man who was trying to either film or produce a film about all the weird occult Illuminati stuff in Hollywood, and that he got a lot of stuff right, so he went and got killed for it. They cut off his hands and they tossed him under a freeway. All celebrities are transgender. If so, I don't know if I want you to vouch for me anymore. I don't know why people think this. I don't. But people believe this. I don't know why. I don't know. I think maybe it started because people were like, Lady Gaga has a PP or something, and then she didn't or something. I don't know why this is a thing. Red rooms. Red rooms are a supposed thing you can find on the dark web or the deep web. There's differences. But in these rooms, there are people torturing other people, and it's like a stream kind of thing, where you can go in and chat, and you can request what they can do. And the people in these red rooms are torturers, and they're torturees. So in the chat, essentially, you can go and say what to do to that torturee. President Eisenhower signed a treaty with the aliens. People think Eisenhower met with aliens. I kind of am one of those people who think that too. But he met with aliens and that he signed a treaty. And that after that, we've been in contact with aliens. And what could this treaty have been? Well, in exchange for tech, possibly other stuff, they get humans to experiment on. Dimension shifting in 2012. People think that when 2012 was supposed to end, right? You remember that. The world did end. And because of something known as soul conscience transfer, or soul transfer, conscience transfer, dimension hopping, those kind of things, that let us survive. So there's this thing called quantum immortality that involves all these things that when you die, you get transported to another dimension where whatever killed you ended up not killing you, and therefore you survived. So people think when 2012 ended, us, because of quantum immortality, we hopped over to another dimension where 2012 didn't kill us. Therefore, being the origin of the Mandela effect, it's super weird. I don't know if I did it just, I probably didn't, but it's a theory. Anunnaki, last one for this tier. Anunnaki are supposed gods that were worshipped on Earth, and I can get into so much about them, but the big thing about them is that they are the creators of humans, that everything we know comes from them, not of our own experiences, of our own making. It all comes from them. Okay, tier 7, baby. Let's go. I call this one challenging beliefs because they challenge popular beliefs, so I love it. The Vatican is actually satanic. Oh, I love anything that messes with religion, but people believe that the Vatican is bad. It's actually satanic. It's not good. Does this help the Pope Francis thing? Possibly. Earth larger than the sun, people think that the Earth is actually larger than the sun. North Korea utopia, people think that North Korea, because we don't know much about it or what it looks like, and because we're not really allowed as much to go in there, travel is heavily restricted, people think that it's actually a utopia. It actually looks very nice, and that it's presented as a awful place to go, an awful place to live in, because everywhere else isn't as nice as there. And that North Korea accepts the fact that they are perceived as doom and gloom, so no one goes there. Professional sports are scripted. Much in the same vein as professional wrestling being scripted, people think that professional sports are scripted. You ever see a really bad team win a heavy, hard league? Or the underdog team beat the champion favorites? Scripted, all of it. No heaven, only hell. Self-explanatory. Belief that there's no actual heaven, there's only hell. Human history has been faked. Maybe. Maybe. Good chance. But kind of self-explanatory, again, that all of our history has been faked. It's all fake. As for why, don't really know. They're probably hiding something. Ghosts are biological beings, rather than the popular belief that a ghost is just a intangible thing. It's said to be the soul of someone who is still wandering the earth. No, this is saying that ghosts are their own thing. They're their own biological beings. They're not dead people. Oxygen hallucination, saying that every time we breathe in oxygen, we start to hallucinate. That the world around us isn't the way it seems. This kind of helps people who believe that when you take the the drugs, if you will, you're seeing the world for how it actually is, right? When you start to trip out and stuff. Therefore, when you breathe in oxygen, you don't see the world like that. And that these drugs help you see what oxygen is taken from you. The all whites are funded by the government. People think the KKK are actually a government funded cult, group, whatever. I love this one. I covered this one before, but I love it still. James, the brother of Jesus, is the true Savior, not Jesus himself. Said that Jesus' brother James is actually supposed to be the second child of God, and that he was supposed to be the true Savior, not Jesus himself. Earth has two moons. There's the belief that Earth has two moons. I really hope that's true. That'd be kind of cool. We have a moon, and then whatever we name the other moon. Are you ready for this one? I hope there's someone who has been paying attention. But multiple Christ. I love it. This is a theory that persists that there are multiple incarnations of Jesus. Jesus was actually many different people. Jesus had died and came back to life multiple times. Therefore, multiple Jesus. Or the fact that the story of Jesus is actually an amalgamation of many different people, and they were all combined into one person, and in the story that person's named Jesus. Whatever it is, I love it. This one I wanted to avoid, but this man is actually the good guy the whole time. So the belief here is that he went into presidency willingly to try and help out, right? He left his riches, a comfortable life, to go and help the country. Sounds noble, right? But here's the thing. He wasn't in cahoots with the Illuminati. So therefore, the media screwed him over. The media actually wanted their golden child, Hillary, in office. But because this man played his cards right, he got in. And that wasn't supposed to happen. He was genuine when he said that he wanted to help out the country. Therefore, the powers that be screwed him in every way that they could. Through the media, through anyone else that was in cahoots with them. Now I do want to always avoid current ones, but this one's too good not to put on here. The Black Pope. No, it's not a black guy that was a pope. Sadly, it's not what it is. Something a lot more disappointing. The Black Pope is just someone who is higher up in the Vatican than the Pope. He's a superior general kind of thing in the Vatican who he's kind of the head honcho of everything. He runs everything, but he runs everything, and he's actually one of the most rarely sighted humans, other than me because I never come out of my room. I messed up that joke. Whatever. But the thing with him is that people think he's evil. Why? Because he dresses in black. Black is, associated with bad and evil. And wow, that's a hell of a sentence to say in 2021. But this helps the Vatican is satanic theory. Pope Francis is the Antichrist theory. So here's the third part, the Black Pope. People think he's bad. You know what's worse than Vatican City though? Texas. I absolutely hate Texas. It's so stupid. That's such a stupid state. I don't like it. Like, it's literally called Tex-ass. Like, you don't even have mountains there. Like, I don't get who likes Texas. Why is Texas a thing? I hate it. I hate Texas. You know what's worse than Texas though? Indiana. You know what's worse than Indiana? Illinois. You know what's worse than Illinois? Toronto. Why Toronto? Because of the Toronto Protocol. What is the Toronto Protocol though? The Toronto Protocol is a series of... Toronto Protocol is a series of leaked papers, documents, by a man named Serge Monast. Who is Serge Monast? Serge Monast is the creator of the funniest conspiracy theory out there, Project Bluebeam. Yeah, we're gonna fake an alien invasion, and we're gonna fake the second coming of Christ through 3D. So through him comes the Toronto Protocol. Now, what's in these papers? What is this? What is this? It is a 3-step plan to get the Illuminati to take control of the world. Now the scary part about this is that it's actually viable, unlike Bluebeam, because here are the steps. Step 1, destroy the family unit. Mom, dad, children. How are you going to destroy it? Normalize homosexuality. Step 2, delegitimize religion. Make it out to be evil. See a rise in atheism or agnosticism. And step 3, ensure people stay single. How are you going to do this? Well, modern day dating game is mainly just hookups. And lastly, step 4, get that Ashley Betcher girl to text me. I know you're shy. I know you've noticed me. Alright, Ashley? Alright, I know you're just shy. You know why? Because once you do it, you're gonna fall in love with me. That's what's gonna happen. Okay, just give me what I want. Okay, I don't want anything else. I don't want love or food or money. I want Ashley. I've got fucking priorities, okay, fellas? I don't know where this joke is going, but I'm sorry for that tangent. Oh, that's pretty crazy though. But speaking of crazy, Lindsay Lohan and her twin.
During the production of the movie The Parent Trap, or at least the remake of it, one producer allegedly murdered her twin and then silenced it, which therefore led to Lindsay's mental health problems.
Did I? I don't know if I got that. Oh my god. Life on the Sun says that there's potentially life on the sun, whether it be small organisms. I have a way better explanation. Let me give it to you right now.
Okay, life on the sun. Now, yeah, it's not saying that there are whole ass humanoid civilizations on the sun. I mean, it kind of is saying that, but that's not the case here. That's not the only case, at least. It could be microorganisms. It could just be some other form of life that could essentially live on the sun. Maybe it is humanoids. Maybe it's aliens or alien humanoids. Whatever. But it's saying that there theoretically could be life living on our sun.
Mac and cheese makes you gay. I must be hella fucking gay then. But there's a study that says chemicals in mac and cheese alter male hormones. So apparently, because I like mac and cheese a lot, I apparently like. Oh, okay, right, I gotta get this one. Vortex math. What is that? Okay, I need the whiteboard for this. Vortex math has a symbol. This awfully made symbol. But what is it? Let me explain it to you. Vortex math says that the numbers 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8 are the basis for the physical world, and that the numbers 3, 6, and 9 are the basis of the universe. It's believed that understanding the numbers 3, 6, and 9, you can find the keys to the universe. Many people believe this because there's a false quote out there about Nikola Tesla saying that he treasured or he believed that 369 hold the keys to the universe. Not true, that didn't happen, but there's more to this than just that. If you're familiar with spirituality and manifestation and all of that, there's this thing called the 369 method, which people will essentially write things either 3 times, another thing 6 times, and then another thing 9 times, which also holds the belief that the numbers 3, 6, and 9 hold secrets or keys to the universe. So that's basically what it is. The numbers 3, 6, and 9 are the most important things to understand, according to Vortex Math. White holes are essentially the opposite of black holes. Now, there's a little bit more to them. Black holes, they suck everything in. They suck light, matter, anything. While white holes spit everything out. Now the thing is, no one knows if a white hole exists or not. It's a theory. It's a theoretical thing that is proposed to be real, but we still can't find one. But given the vast plane and existence of space, it's hard to not think that this could be true. President James A. Garfield's final letter, right before his assassination, Garfield wrote a letter to his son, and in this letter, there is alleged satanic activity happening around him. So, he was potentially sacrificed by Satanists, or the Illuminati, or occult people. Satanist. Apollo 11 landed on the wrong moon. If you remember the last one, I said Earth has 2 moons. Apollo 11 landed on the 2nd moon, is essentially what this is saying. This thing is actually hard. I can't find anything on this. I don't. I kind of thought this was just kind of a meme theory, but I look at the 2 moons theory, then I'm like, maybe there's a lot more here, but I can't find anything. Akashic records are said to be a collection of everything that's happened in the world. Right? Every emotion, every event, every thought, and every person that ever lived is said to be in this Akashic records. The thing is, this thing doesn't exist. It doesn't exist physically. It exists in a more mental plane, a more 5D kind of realm. So it sounds a bit spiritual, but not really. It said that you have to become one with the universe in order to access these records. Human age cap is at 125. A study by a man named Jan Weich says that humans can live up to 125. That's as high as it goes. Now, why is it a theory? People challenge this by saying that there is no actual cap, or that the cap is actually lower. A 105, 115, maybe just 120. Plastic is edible. The Cold War was staged, and I have a way better explanation. So,
The Cold War was staged. Now, this is saying that the US and the Soviet Union were actually working together to create all these advancements in technology, right? The space race to help both each other out. They were both helping each other create nuclear weapons, and that the media was in on it, and they were telling you that war was imminent, so you're not suspecting of these 2 countries working together.
the Botez Void Leviathan. Now, first of all, okay, the Botez Void is a very weird sector in space that's just all black. There's a bunch of stars and a bunch of galaxies around this void, but this void is just blank. It's dark. It's black. Now, where does the Leviathan come in? It said that in the void is a Leviathan eating everything. and in that void, it already ate everything that was in there. Tap water blacklist says that if you're a minority or a non good member of society, that you will get bad tap water. And joke's on you, I drink bottled water. God's last wish. You always see this one super low, so yeah, I'm gonna put it here. But God's last wish is just that when God died, or well, yeah, when he died, is it said that his last wish was for humanity to live. I don't really know where this comes from, but I like it because it kind of tosses away the story of Jesus, essentially. But then again, I don't like it because if that is true, then my multiple Christ theory, what's the word I'm looking for? Whatever, I'm gonna put it there. But you're 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 ruining the fun if this is true. Okay, tier 9, I called it hell because it was hell to get to these. Eisenhower was the last human president. If you remember what I said about Eisenhower signing a treaty with aliens, and then that treaty led to aliens abducting humans, and then you believe the whole reptilian thing about their coming in and invading, taking over humans, taking over our governments. Therefore, Eisenhower, last human president, because every other president after that was an alien. The rapture already happened. This is a belief that something called this says that the rapture already happened and that heaven lost and that now we're living in the ruins of everything. UFOs are jellyfish. It says that UFOs are actually native creatures to the sky, and that they're essentially like jellyfish. They live in the atmosphere, they live in the sky. They're not actually alien hovercrafts that we're seeing. Third Columbine shooter. There's a belief that there was a third Columbine shooter.
The third Columbine shooter mentions that a lot of eyewitnesses mention a third gunman that doesn't match the description of the two known gunmen, and it's thought that this person was named Robert Perry.
The Bible was edited. This is saying that the the Bible we know now is an edited version of the actual Bible, because the actual Bible, there you can't find it. There's no actual trace of it now. So now we have copies of what was the original Bible, but saying that now these copies are actually edited of the actual thing. Some things were taken out. Actually, now that I say that, things were taken out. Essentially, something called the Book of Enoch is essentially DLC to the Bible, but it was made non-canon because of a lot of things it presents. So, given that Book of Enoch is non-canon, said that with the original Bible, some of the things in the Book of Enoch are in there. So essentially, they edited the Bible to their liking now and removed some things that we're not either ready to see or that were actually fucking cool. The Earth was flat. Wild, right? There's a belief that through our collective manifestation, the Earth became spherical. Right? We all believed it to be flat, and it was. But because our theories and knowledge changed, that made the Earth into a ball. Divinity's playing card game is just a theory that's saying that there are divinities, gods essentially, that are playing what's essentially a card game with our world. And anything or anytime they lay down a card, that's just something that happens to us. So they lay down a joker and some motherfucker does this. The Bogdanovs, these are brothers who are said to be the most powerful men on earth. They can stop a war with a single phone call. They can get anything they want just by saying it. Right? Some people think they're aliens. Some people think they are the the last people in the bloodline of Christ. They're just the most powerful people in existence. Skin is an alien parasite. I messed that up, wow. They're saying that humans shouldn't have skin. were just meat and bones, and that skin itself was a alien parasite that just latched itself onto us. Think Venom. We're all walking Venoms without the cool stuff. Holy Grail is evil says that the Holy Grail is actually a mockery of the crucifixion of Christ, and therefore it is evil. It's used to mock Jesus Christ and religion and whatever comes with it. Segregated internet is a belief that depending on what sector or section of society that you're on, you will only get a part of the internet, not the whole thing. So if you're in the lower class of society, you will get a very bad part of the internet, right? The very rundown version. If you're in the middle class, you will get a little bit more advanced stuff, and if you're in the high class, you get access to all of it. It's also saying that given who your internet provider is, they will give you different versions of the internet. So therefore, everyone on the internet is not together. We're all segregated. And could probably help the empty internet theory. Cryptogeography, I actually really like this. I want to make a whole thing on just this. But cryptogeography is saying that maps are intentionally made to edit out things that they don't want to show us, such as secret bases, perhaps secret places or continents, secret cities, secrets that they don't want to show us. Perhaps Atlantis is there, but every map that we see is essentially taking it out. You know, it could say that there actually is something in the Bermuda Triangle, but our maps will not show what it is. But my biggest theory on this, cryptogeography, I messed up. Cryptogeography edited out what the Piri-Reis map found and thought to be Antarctica. Piri-Reis map found Antarctica without its ice cap. My theory here is that current day maps found whatever Piri-Reis found that he thought was Antarctica, and now they're hiding it. JFK martyred himself. I love this. I hope I have a better explanation, but okay. Here's what it is. JFK had himself killed because Operation Northwoods was going to go through, but he thought had he had himself killed, Operation Northwoods would not have gone through because his death would have caused a lot of civil outrage, and had they gone through with Operation Northwoods, they were going to have even more shit on them, so his death inevitably stopped Northwoods. If you don't know what Northwoods is, Northwoods was a proposed false flag attack on civilians where the CIA and the FBI were going to go around and start to kill civilians. They were going to do this and then say that it was the Cubans doing this. It was Cuban terrorists doing this. Obviously, didn't go through. JFK said no. But this theory presents that they were going to go through with it. JFK knew this, so he had himself killed. Last one, and this is probably the most hardest one to explain. Retrocausality. I might need the whiteboard for this actually, hold on. Okay, you know cause and effect, right? You learned this in like 3rd grade. You know, something happens, which is the cause, and then it has an effect. Okay, retrocausality is saying that time moves backwards, right? That an effect in the future has a... No, I messed up again, damn it. So essentially, something happens in the future and it affects time. It affects it in reverse by making something happen in the past that will therefore make it happen in the future. That is the most hardest thing I've ever had to say, and I don't think I even said it right. To simplify it even more than I tried right now, effect equals cause, not cause equals effect. Princess Diana was murdered for a Muslim baby. Okay, this one, oof. I had to do this one separately because I had to get all the info out. Fuck. But Diana was said to have been dating Mr. Dodi Fayed. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I pride myself on proper pronunciation. But she was dating Mr. Fayed and said that she got pregnant, and Queen Elizabeth obviously didn't like this. Even her own mother, Diana's own mother, didn't approve of her dating a Muslim man, so neither did the Queen. You know, they didn't want a Muslim in the royal family, or at least related to anyone that was close to the throne. So because of this, they had the MI6 go in and sabotage her car, ending up in the car crash. Dadi Fayed actually died in the car crash, and his father, Muhammad Al Fayed, said that they they did it. It was they were the cause of their deaths. They had this planned out. They were basically accused. Muhammad went on a whole 10-year campaign trying to prove that they were murdered, but he ended up letting it go. He said that, you know what, no, for the sake of her children, given the way that things are, I don't put it past them. Life is an unproven theory because there's a theory out there that says you can't prove life through modern science. So, someone named, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Rene Descartes, I don't know, I'm Mexican, so I'm pronouncing this in Spanish. It's probably French, but whatever. They tried to prove it, and they couldn't, so they eventually just came up with the phrase, I am, therefore I think, whatever the fuck, I think, therefore I am. There we go, I just looked at it. Wow, what a way to start off though. I'm already a mess, and yeah, it's not gonna get better from here. The second one, this is my only things, that's why I'm putting it super high, so, bear with me. My theory here is that we are already dead. Everybody's already dead. You know when they say that when you're about to die, your life flashes before your eyes? Okay. We're already on our deathbeds, and our life that we're experiencing right now is what is flashing before our eyes. Then everything we've done is already predetermined, it already happened, we already did exactly what we're going to do. So, we're dying, we're dead, and yeah. Does that make sense? I don't know, but it sounds cool. Roman Empire exists still and rules over everybody. Says that, like I said, Roman Empire still exists. They're the ones behind everything. They are the NWO, the Illuminati. Death is unnatural. Say that death shouldn't happen, this shouldn't be happening to humans, and that it's very unnatural. There's probably a little more to this, probably being like, maybe at the rate that we die, or at the age that we die is unnatural, but all I could really find is that death itself is unnatural. Humans come from a different planet. This is a theory I found a while ago, but it says that humans originate from a different planet, and that we were sent here to Earth, and that we're also not native to Earth. Now there's two things here. One could either be that we originate from Mars, and that, we destroyed Mars and then we came to Earth, and then Mars is just a warning. Or if you want to get even weirder, you go back to the Anunnaki. They created us, right? They're the creators of humans. They give us all of our cultures, our languages, our religions, right? It all comes from them. But they come from the planet Nibiru. So therefore, humans are from the planet Nibiru, which is supposed to be Planet X. This one, okay, you've probably seen other icebergs have this one at the very bottom, and it's so weird because you can't really find anything if you don't get context. So I finally was able to get context, and it's something that I've mentioned before. The term her is just God's wife. But the thing with her is that it's a very old 4chan theory that says God wanted, another other to his one, so he tried to make himself a wife, but she couldn't be his equal, and that therefore the existence of the universe is just his distraction because he can't have his wife. Why can't he have her? It's much more than she's not his equal. It's that he tried and he failed to make her his equal. So there's another thing though that says God had a wife, but he destroyed her, like the pro gamer that he is. But then he regretted it, and he tried to bring her back to life. But that ended up being the spawn of Lucifer, or Satan. There's a lot of things with this, but I think I'm just going to go with the her thing. She was edited out. She was not real. She is there, and then everyone just doesn't acknowledge her, and then there's just so many things, but I'm just gonna stick with the her thing. Hollow universe is a complicated thing to say the least. Let me show you the picture. Okay, there's the picture. Basically, what it is that the Earth is inside out, kind of, right? It's not like this. It's more like this. I don't fucking. But basically, what we perceive to be the outside of Earth is actually the inside, right? Space is actually the center of Earth. It's so weird. It's such a weird thing. It's probably just another take on the hollow Earth thing. But I just look at the picture. Just look at the picture. That is one of the hardest things to even explain, but if someone can get it right, I'm sure you can comprehend it. I'm sure I got it right. By being like this, yeah, that makes sense. Immortality-induced amnesia is just another, what I read is it's another extension of quantum immortality, which quantum immortality is whenever you die, you end up in another universe where you didn't die, or whatever killed you, didn't happen, or just didn't kill you. But this is where every time you die, you create another timeline where you didn't die, but that timeline cannot happen unless you die. Yeah, that was it. Okay, yeah, okay, I thought there was more. There's no way to tell if you're actually awake. So, maybe you've heard the term lucid dreaming, where you are conscious of whatever's happening in your dream, or you're conscious that you're dreaming, right? You know it's happening. So, a lucid dream is more of a realistic kind of dream, like you could feel more, like you understand what's going on and stuff. So, it's proposing that life as we know it is just a big dream, and that there's no way to tell if we're actually awake and not out of some dream. Less than 1 million people use the internet. This is kind of, I want to say an extension of the empty internet theory, but it's also saying there's not as much people on the internet as you think. Most people on the internet are bots, or they're just not that many people. But this is also saying that there is less than 1 million people on the internet. So that's weird, because 1 million alone is probably like 7% of the actual population of the world, which is probably like 7 billion if I'm not wrong, or if it changed and I just don't remember. But that's weird. That's creepy. That's weird. Because, like, already 100 people is a lot, like, if you think about it. Thank you for 118, though. But that's so weird, just to think that there's less than 1 million. It doesn't sound right, but it's also like, that's a whole lot of people already. The Mongolian Empire never existed. I've mentioned this one before, but if you didn't see that, basically the Mongolian Empire never had any written text, it never had any culture, any religion or anything, nothing to prove that it was a thing. So therefore, there's a theory that says the Mongolian Empire is just a facade to cover up for the brutal nature of Genghis Khan. There was no empire, it's just all, they made up this whole thing so they can justify this guy being a dick. There's a proposed third hemisphere of the brain. You've probably heard left brain and right brain, but some people say that there is a possibility of a middle brain. But basically, this third hemisphere is responsible for repetition, accuracy, speed, and has all things to do with creativity and logic and just, I guess, just the thought process itself. Okay. This one's so funny, and you already know I'm gonna make one thing on this thing alone. So, actually, maybe not even one thing. Maybe it'll be multiple things. Whatever though. Saturnic Providential Despair Matrix, or Hidden Rulers Throughout the Ages. If you search up one of those two terms, you will be led to this very odd thing. And what is it? Oh my god, it's so weird. Basically, what this is alien beings named Archons are using Saturn to hijack the waveforms of the solar system around us. They're using the waveforms and they're manipulating our reality to make it seem like our world is filled with, war, famine, fear, all the bad stuff, when in reality, it's a very nice and loving world. So basically, aliens are using Saturn to make us think the world is bad. There's so much more into this. It's just like, oh my god, look, just look at these pictures. I don't understand. Like, it says that these aliens were always around even during biblical times, and that they're responsible for the fall of 1/3 of the angels in heaven, and that they're all being linked to Satan. It's so fucking weird. But you already know, I'm gonna make a whole video on this one thing because it's so stupid and weird, and I like it. What's next? Oh my god. Actually did message me back, but Instagram lost the message. Why? Because the powers that be know that I know too much about what they're doing, so therefore they fucked me over. Yeah, mandatory Ashley joke. I'm sorry. Earth is the only actual planet, and that our solar system is actually just a psyop to make us think that there is other stuff beyond the world, when in reality there's nothing. Yep. The ice ball theory. This one's weird. This one, I like this one. Okay. The ice ball theory suggests that Earth itself is actually a big ice ball, and that we are on the top of this ice ball, but our world that we know is just a little pond in Earth. So there's a picture, I'll leave it there. That it's so weird. It's like another extension of the flat Earth theory, but it's so weird. So basically, the world is flat, but it's on a sphere, and that our world is just one of many on this sphere. So essentially, this kind of, if this were to be a thing, this would bring in flat Earth, perhaps hollow Earth, and then Antarctica is an ice wall, all into one. That's wild. Alright, do you want to know how pathetic the British people are? Meghan Markle is a prop to reabsorb the US. The Brits never got over the fact that they lost to the US, so they're using Meghan Markle as a prop to reabsorb the US. Now, here's why. So stupid. The thing is, people think this is all a setup for the British Empire to come back and take over the US, right? God save the Queen, am I right? I don't know what it is with the Brits, man. They're so easy to make fun of. Like, they're the true Florida people of the world. Like, you lost the Revolutionary War, you lost the 2020 Euro, and now you're trying to use Meghan Markle as a prop to reabsorb the US. You're absolutely fucking pathetic. More pathetic than Lyndon B. Johnson. What's with the random hate towards the Brits? Chirpy Radix. This is weird. Chirpy Radix is a picture, really odd picture, accompanied with very odd music that's said to mess with your neural stuff, and that it'll eventually fuck you over so bad that you will wake up with flashing images, flashing lights, probably, seeing all this kind of stuff. But basically, it's a weird image with weird noise that's designed to fuck with your neural stuff. Is it possible that it does this? I don't know, I just looked at it and I haven't fallen asleep yet, so. The game. Gotcha, you loser. Bitch on Ice starring you. Basically, if you don't know what the game is, it's a game that says, or not says, fuck, I messed up. It's hard to even explain it, but the game is to not think of the game. Once you think of the game, you lose. So don't think of the game. The final understanding, you'll probably see this one everywhere, and thank God this is towards the end, whatever. But the final understanding is just, once humans come to understand the meaning of the universe, we will understand everything. So therefore, that is the final understanding. I hope I got that right. Last one. Kind of sad now that this is the last one. But Illuminati are the good guys. So basically, the basis for every conspiracy theory, the villain for every theory out there, is saying that they're actually the good guys. They're actually trying to help us out. My ass, you are. That's it.
that's everything for this whole entire iceberg. This is probably the most successful thing that I had. So, thank you to everybody that came for this. And if you're still here somehow, thank you. Thank you for making it all this way. Thank you for being here. And thank you. I made this when I was in the 110s area. Now I'm trying to hit the 150. So, if you're new, you know what to do. And if you saw all the other tiers separately and you choose to see this, 1, what are you doing? 2, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for watching. And when we hit 120, fuck, 150. I mean 150. When we hit 150, I will break the grandfather paradox because I am science. Carl Sagan, Neil deGrasse Tyson can fucking suck my balls. Fuck you. Thanks for watching, and bye.